Hello and welcome back to the office. It's Monday morning. It's quite quiet after the unfortunate England loss yesterday. I'm going to take you through what I was thinking this morning, and in particular we're going to look back at kind of how I'm going to debrief this day. Now, what I want to achieve out of this is, or eventually teach myself a pattern. Now, I had a trade in mind, it didn't play out, and there were lots of things that made me like this trade and a few things that made me not like this trade. And so what I want to do is try and build some sort of like recognition of those things so that next time I see them, hopefully, like over time with repetitions, it all sort of merges itself into a trade, because there is something here, there was something good there and something not so good, and I need to learn to understand it. So let's dig into it now. Let's go to the charts. Okay, so the trade I'm looking at is Euro Stoxx long, and so you can see here the 30 minutes covering the past 4 weeks. And so here's the high post-COVID, not really in excess, and the market's come off, leaving all these flat-topped kind of balances, and it's just like coming off and coming off and coming off, and so it forms block in here. And so the significance of those tops is that if the market does find a buyer, it should be able to rip through that. Now the market had this really big liquidation here, really high volume day, then all this positioning here got trapped, and then on Friday the market bid back. So this creates this inside day structure here. Given the fact that we've then closed back here last week and closed well back within the range, that could suggest that we found this buyer and that the market could go. So that was what I was looking at. Okay, so let's have a look at what happened. So the market opened up here in the highs of Friday's cash session, and then bid through the highs of the cash sort of inside day high. And up here, once the cash opened, the trade was really weird. The book was really thin, and the market was moving quite sort of freely on really low volume. And so that's already not a sign. It pulled back right back through the IB early. That was really your best chance to get long if you were convicted on the trade. It then came up here, held here, but then when it pushed up here, there was just no drive, and then the market had this big liquidation. So obviously the idea failed. So now I've shared with you the trade idea. We need to go over the things that I didn't like, the red flags. So the first of those came from our weekend prep. So I spent a long time here on Sunday or yesterday. I didn't come up with anything concrete for any market other than Euro Stoxx. So that in itself tells me that the markets aren't telling us any sort of like clear signs of doing something. So that's first flag. Okay, and then here we're looking at the S&P, and so the S&P is bid up, and you can see there haven't really been any hasn't been any correction in the structure down here, so it's quite weak these days, are quite like tight and not showing much initiative. The market has washed down, but it's left kind of this like congested poor low, really thin profile. It's come up and left sort of another low excess high. So nothing in this market I really like. In some ways I prefer the downside, but it's not setting up yet. And so then it's funny, I'm trying to get long Euro Stoxx, but liking the downside on SPO. All right, so now we're back at the Euro Stoxx 30-minute chart. And the other thing I want to look at here is just the way the market trade in the days. So you can see there's often like a little bit of volume in the morning, then nothing midday, and then volume in the afternoon. And this pattern kind of happened all through this range where we're getting these like poor highs. And so what that's telling us is there was like no consistent interest throughout the whole day. And so what I was concerned with here is if the market comes up and we get the same kind of thing with a little bit of volume early on that quickly tapers off, then we don't have any consistent buying. And then the final red flag for me was the fact that the market pushed up a little bit higher after the cash close on Friday. The market then opened here at the highs, and so we've got all of this trapped, or all of this positioning here, weak positioning at the highs, which can potentially get squeezed. This exercise hasn't necessarily taught us how to trade this day, but what it's done is made us aware of some things that can go wrong, which could be useful next time.